Hi, this is Reddit Confessions channel. If someone had told me that the end of my marriage would begin with a key on the kitchen counter, I wouldn't have believed them. No fight, no accusations, no dramatic exit. Just a silver key and silence. My name's Michael, -18. Copy editor. I like quiet cafes, second-hand books, and thunderstorms. I thought my wife did too. Her name is Elise, 36. Graphic designer. Loud in all the ways I'm not. We balanced each other until we didn't. It started small. A locked phone here. A sudden interest in thickness there. Nothing alarming on its own. But together, it built tension like humidity before a storm. I ignored the signs. Told myself I was overthinking. That she just needed space. That she was stressed. Then one Thursday, I came home early. The office internet was down, so I took it as a sign to rest. I wanted to surprise her. Pick up Thai food. Watch the show we'd been putting off. But when I walked through the door, the house wasn't empty. Voices. Laughter. Hers light, unfiltered, unfamiliar. I didn't barge in. I waited. Listened. Then left the food on the table and walked back out. She never knew I came home. That night, she told me she'd worked late. Deadlines. A tough client. I nodded and said nothing. I watched her pour wine with steady hands. She smiled like she meant it. I didn't sleep. Instead, I lay awake wondering whose cologne was lingering in our hallway. Over the next week, I became an observer. Her smiles didn't reach her eyes. Her touch was mechanical. Her laughter when it came was foreign. She started wearing perfume she once said gave her headaches. She started going out more, texting more, living more without me. And I let her. Until one afternoon, I found the hotel key, tucked into the side pocket of her gym bag. Branded in bold letters, Claremont Suites, room 309. I stared at it for a long time, then placed it on the kitchen counter, next to a note that said, "You forgot something." She never brought it up. Just quietly moved the key to her purse the next morning. We became strangers in our own home, sharing toothpaste, but not stories. Sharing space, but not warmth. Then came the cabin trip. We'd planned it months ago. A small rental in Vermont. Just trees, books, and silence. We almost cancelled, but Elise insisted we go. It might help, she said. I agreed. Not because I believed her, but because I needed to see what was left. We packed in separate rooms. Drove in silence. She played a playlist she used to hate. I recognized none of the songs, but she sang along. When we arrived, the cabin smelled like pine and nostalgia. There was a fireplace, 2 mugs, and a deck overlooking the lake. For the first time in weeks, she touched my hand, lightly, like a question. That night, we talked about nothing. Movies, weather, childhood pets. She laughed, and for a second, it felt real. Then her phone buzzed. She ignored it. Then it buzzed again. And again. Eventually, she excused herself, stepping outside with it still buzzing in her hand. I watched her silhouette from the window, saw her shoulders relax, heard her laugh, the real one, the one that had belonged to me in months. I didn't ask who it was. Instead, I walked to the fireplace and tossed in the envelope I'd brought from home. Inside was the hotel key, a printout of her calendar, a photo of her and someone else blurred, but close enough, and a letter it'd written, but never read aloud. I watched it burn, the ashes curling up like black feathers. She came back inside and smiled. I didn't return it. In the morning, I told her I was leaving early. She looked confused. But we just got here. I know, I said. And I'm already tired. We didn't fight. She didn't beg. She just watched me pack like she was seeing me clearly for the first time in months. When I got home, I called a lawyer. She moved out 2 weeks later. There was no drama. No tears. Just boxes. A lot of silence. And the echo of something we used to call love. A month passed. I started running again. Made coffee just for myself. Rearranged the furniture. One morning, a stranger walked into the bookstore where I worked part-time. She was asking about a rare edition of Jane Eyre. Her name was Rachel. She had ink on her fingers and smiled like she meant it. We talked. About books. About coffee. About silence. Not about the past. 3 weeks later, she came back. This time for a poetry reading. I saved her a seat. She brought me a bag of chocolate-covered almonds just because. I didn't tell her everything. Not yet. But I told her enough. And when she touched my arm as she left, it didn't feel like a question. It felt like a beginning. Sometimes the end doesn't come with fireworks or fury. Sometimes it's a quiet exit and the sound of rain hitting the windows while you breathe again. Sometimes it's a forgotten hotel key that reminds you exactly where you stand. And sometimes that's all you need to start walking somewhere new.